Yeah, look, I hear you. Look, listen, we'll just talk about this in a minute, alright? Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's Rob and welcome to Live Curious. Let's go talk to some trees. Look, I know I started off just making nothing but tree talks videos and I... What do you mean I just care about rewilding Britain? Look, I know I've been making a lot of rewilding content lately, but it is hugely important and to be honest, trees are a huge part of that as well. So that means you're important, and to be honest, it means you're all important. Okay, look, right, so for those of you that are new to the channel, I used to do a series called Tree Talks. Haven't done it in a while, but today we're gonna get out. It's a series where I give you some interesting facts about trees and I tell you the best ways to identify them. We may as well get started, not with this tree. I've already done this horse chestnut. Can't seem to catch a break with this one. But one we haven't done yet is this one, the Lombardy poplar. So the best way to identify this tree are by its upright branches. They grow ascending. It is very common for the base part of the tree, for the wood down here, to be decayed. The amount of times when I've been surveying trees and I come across a poplar that is completely rotten, this one actually looks okay. It is quite common for those ascending branches to be crossing, and the leaves are triangular shaped and the bark is a browny silver colour. So as you can see to my left here is typically a tree which is planted as screening in agricultural fields. It grows very fast. And one of the cool things about poplars generally is that when it's a windy day and their leaf rustle, it really sounds like rainfall. But it's not a particularly windy day today. Look, listen, are you sure you want to do this? Alright, cool. Sweet. Alright, this was the one that was giving me a little bit of jib at the start of the video. It's a horse chestnut tree. We have already done a horse chestnut tree on the channel, but that was back in spring when the flowers were out, and now one of its most defining features are out. And of course, it's fruit. It's these spiky seed cases, and inside we have the conkers. The leaves, they're pretty much a dead giveaway. They're called palmate leaves, and there's 5 or 7 leaves coming off one single stem. You can't really go wrong in the UK with these. This is a young one, so the bark hasn't had a chance to mature yet, but with age, it will begin to crack, like most trees. Oh, this is cool. Like the farmer, instead of just doing one planting, he's planted a whole host of different species. Okay, we got a good one here. Okay, so now this one's a tricky one. This is either a pin oak or a red oak. I think it's a pin oak because, well, there's 2 main reasons. Firstly, it's the leaves. With the pin oak, they are smaller leaves with less lobes, whereas the red oaks, they're much larger and they have more lobes. Typically for a pin oak, there's around 5 to 7 lobes, and that's what you've got on these leaves, and it's pretty consistent across the whole tree. And the second reason that I think it's a pin oak is its bark. With a red oak, although this tree isn't that old, it's probably semi-mature going into early maturity because oak trees can live for a long time. With the bark on a red oak, let's say, they're much bigger fissures, whereas on a pin oak, they're much thinner fissures. They both have these like vertical ridges going down. And although this tree is relatively young in terms of an oak tree, the fissures just look really thin. And here we have some acorns which are beginning to form, and look, it's really early in the season, they haven't quite grown, but the acorns on the pin oak are much smaller than the red oak. So yeah, the main differences between a red oak and a pin oak is that a pin oak is just generally smaller and the bark isn't as fissured, whereas with a red oak it's much bigger and it's got much bigger cracks. I gave it my best shot. They are quite hard to tell apart, but they're really, really awesome trees, and they both got like a lovely red colour in the autumn, especially the red oak. Okay, so I am just making my way along this tree line. It's really great. There's loads of different species. Sycamore, we've done that one. This one, this looks like a false acacia. So the false acacia tree, this tree is very common amongst gardeners because it grows quite fast, a little bit like the eucalyptus tree. People like to plant it because it has quite an instant impact. The way you identify it are by its leaves. It has compound leaves, meaning it has stems coming off with a number of different leaves. The leaves are arranged on the leaves in a alternate pattern, meaning you have one leaf, then another, and then another, and you know, they're not opposite each other. So once you get your eye on the leaf, you then have to look to the bark, and the bark is very distinctive. It's very fissured, out, and it's also a very spiny tree. I forgot that it has spines on its bark. Sometimes you see them like thorns, sometimes you see them in the branches, but yeah, they also come out on the bark. It can look a little bit like a willow tree's bark, but yeah, just have a little look around for thorns, or just slap it like I did and you'll realize that it's an acacia. I mean, if you're a tree surgeon, then you probably don't like it because of its thorns, but I have to admit, I really quite like it, you know, with its fissured bark, and it's quite light canopy, which does allow for some sunlight to pass through. Yeah, good tree. I know what, I've really enjoyed this video today. I love getting out, I love looking at trees. Like, not only do I see trees as like a really integral part of the landscape, the ecosystem and all of that, I just see them as characters, you know? They're amazing. Alright, so if you have enjoyed today's tree talks, let me know down in the comments, leave a like on the video, do all of the YouTube things. And as always, thanks for watching, leave curious.